Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Śrīmad Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. It's from Canto 2, Chapter 8, and this morning we're doing text 5. So, without further ado, I'll start the class. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivadadhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivadadhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivadadhari Yashodanandana Vrajaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivājagasacārya Stotra Satyasya Śrīmad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivājagasacārya Stotra Satyasya Śrīmad Divine Grace Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopala Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Swami Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Hare Krishna Mahamanta Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale. Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami. Secretary Prabhupada Siddhartha Sri Gaura Karanja. Narayana Namaskritya Narunchevam Naruttamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiyat Nashtaprayasva Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamaśloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, the Buddhists accept my obeisances, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. So, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2, which is entitled The Cosmic Manifestation. Chapter 8 is questions by King Pariksit, and this morning we're doing text 5. Praviṣṭaḥ karṇa-randhreṇa svānāṁ bhāva-saroruham dhunoti śamalaṁ kṛṣṇaḥ salilasya yathā śarat praviṣṭaḥ karṇa-randhreṇa svānāṁ bhāva-saroruham dhunoti śamalaṁ kṛṣṇaḥ salilasya yathā śarat praviṣṭaḥ karṇa-randhreṇa svānāṁ bhāva-saroruham dhunoti śamalaṁ kṛṣṇaḥ salilasya yathā śarat. Hare Krishna. Please chant.
प्रविष्टः कर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानां भावसरोरुहं धुनोति शमलं कृष्णः सलिलस्य यथा शरत्. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? All right. We'll do word for word now. Praviṣṭaḥ, thus being entered. karṇa-randhreṇa, through the holes of the years. Svānāṁ, according to one's liberated position. Bhāva, constitutional relationship. Saroruham, the lotus flower. Dhunoti, cleanses. Śamalaṁ, material qualities like lust, anger, avarice, and hankering. Kṛṣṇa, Lord Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Salilasya, of the reservoir of waters. Yathā, as it were. Śarat, the autumn season. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. The sound incarnation of Lord Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Soul, that is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, enters into the heart of a self-realized devotee, sits on the flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of material association, such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus, it acts like autumnal rains upon pools of muddy water. Report by Srila Prabhupada. It is said that a single pure devotee of the Lord can deliver all the fallen souls of the world. That's one who is actually in the confidence of a pure devotee like Narada or Shukadeva Goswami, and thus is empowered by one's spiritual master, as Narada was by Brahmaji, can not only deliver himself from the clutches of Maya or illusion, but can deliver the whole world by his pure and empowered devotional strength. The comparison to autumnal rain that falls on muddy reservoirs of water is very appropriate. During the rainy season, all the waters of the rivers become muddy. But in the month of July and August, the autumn season, when there is a slight rainfall, the muddy waters of the rivers all over the world become at once clear. By addition of some chemical, a small reservoir of water, like that of a metropolitan waterworks tank, can be cleared. But by such a tiny effort, it is not possible to clear up all the reservoirs of water like the rivers. A powerful pure devotee of the Lord, however, can deliver not only his personal self, but also many others in his association. In other words, the cleansing of the polluted heart by other methods like the culture of empiric knowledge or mystic gymnastics can simply cleanse one's own heart. But devotional service to the Lord is so powerful that it can cleanse the hearts of the people in general by the devotional service of the pure, empowered devotee. A true representative of a Lord like Narada, Shukadeva Goswami, Lord Chaitanya, the six Goswamis, and later Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Śrīmad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, etc., can deliver all people by their empowered devotional service. By sincere efforts to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, one realizes his constitutional relationship with the Lord in the transcendental humor of servitude, friendship, parental affection, or conjugal love. And by such self-realization, one becomes situated at once in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Not only were all the pure devotees like Narada self-realized souls, but they were engaged in preaching work automatically by spiritual impetus, and thus they delivered many poor souls entangled in the material modes. They became so powerful because they sincerely followed the Bhagavatam principles by regular hearing and worshiping. By such actions, the accumulated material lusts, etc., become cleansed by the personal endeavor of the Lord within the heart. The Lord is always within the heart of the living being, but he becomes manifested by one's devotional service. Purification of the heart by culture of knowledge or mystic yoga may be all right for the time being for an individual person, but it is like the cleansing of a small quantity of stagnant water by chemical processes. Such clarification of water may stand for the time being, and the sediments settle down. But by a slight agitation, everything becomes muddy. The idea is that devotional service to the Lord is the only method of cleansing the heart for good. Whereas other methods may be superficially good for the time being, there is a risk of becoming muddy again due to agitation of the mind. Devotional service to the Lord with specific attention for hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam regularly and always is the best recommended method for liberation from the clutches of illusion. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana Jnana Shalakaya Chakshun Umilitam Jena Tasma Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadatiko Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachayani Nirveshesha Sunyavari Pasthitya Shitayani Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gurachate Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. English translation again. The sound incarnation of Lord Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Soul, that is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, enters into the heart of a self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of material association, such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus, it acts like autumnal rains upon pools of muddy water. Hare Krishna. So, the glories of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam are being mentioned here, the effect of it. So much can happen to the very fortunate person who has made the simple decision of hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam on a daily basis. It is the best decision we can make, especially in Kali Yuga at this time. The next best decision, not that is a second, but the other best decision is also to constantly chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita, as it is, written and purpose given by Srila Prabhupada, or translated and purpose given by Srila Prabhupada, is our basic deep entry into the transcendental lifestyle, the natural lifestyle. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives so much extra information and extra explanation of the things talked about in Bhagavad Gita. So the big eye-opener is Bhagavad Gita, and the wider eye-opener is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. You get to know more. So anyone that hears this every day is actually following the instructions given in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashta prayesu abhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Bhagavati tamashloke bhakti bhavati naishtiki. So if we serve the pure devotee and we listen to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, take it to heart every day, then just like this particular text talks about, the Supreme Personality of Godhead enters into the heart of a self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and then does what? It cleanses the dust of material association, such as lust, anger, and hankering. So one distinction has to be made here. A pure devotee is a self-realized devotee. The pure devotee is a self-realized devotee. But a self-realized devotee is not necessarily a pure devotee. We'll say it again. A pure devotee is definitely a self-realized devotee. But a self-realized devotee, not the same person, another self-realized, person who is self-realized is not necessarily pure. Now, a self-realized devotee knows two things. One, Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, many of you may take it for granted that, well, we come here, we listen to Bible, so we know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Well, now, you're among the few that actually believe that in this world. Many people don't know, and many people don't want to know because they are restricted by their religions, which says that if you go outside of my religion, then you're worshiping pagans. That's Christianity. If you go outside my religion and go somewhere else, I will kill you. That's Islam. It's called apostasy. We're not making this up now. You leave Islam, their punishment is death. So some people may have heard of Krishna. They don't want to even be based on the religion that they had. They've been threatened with death, or they've been what's the word? Convinced that one way or the other, anything outside my religion, this religion that you're in, is not good for you. You're looking at paganism. So only a few people know this in this world, compared to the population of the world. So a self-realized devotee knows Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Brahma confirms it. Ishvara Parama Krishna, the Param Ishvara. The greatest of all controllers is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he names by name. But Brahma says that's Krishna. And so that's one self-realized devotee. And then other thing that the self-realized devotee knows is that he is not his body. He's the spirit soul. Now that's the kind of 2 bits of information that when a person comes to Krishna consciousness, they tend to hear that earlier. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, greatest of all. And we are not these bodies, we're spirit souls. Once you believe these two, you are actually a self-realized devotee of the Lord. Now, then there's so many things that we are connected to in the material energy, as has been described here. Lust is there. Lust is huge now, especially in this planet that operates based on the mode of passion. Lust is very, very, very prevalent in all aspects of our material life. We have to be careful. Anger, lust is unfulfilled, anger follows. Hankering, so many toys are around here. People want that, I want this, I want this, I want this, and they never get satisfied. So all of those are there. So the sound incarnation of Lord Kṛṣṇa, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, if we hear and hear consistently, and hear as a matter of habit, which has actually happened to many people who now call in, they've got at least the habit level. You've done it for a while, so it becomes habit. That's just human nature. You do something for about 3 weeks, they say it becomes a part of you. Then the mind says, even if you didn't do it, oh, why are you not doing it today? You've been doing that, keep doing it. So then you will call in and be part of the Bhāgavatam class. So that is there, but we need to go higher because the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is educating us, and the chanting of the holy name is connecting us with Krishna so that we can develop love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And with that love comes intense happiness. Happiness that material energy, no place the material energy can ever give us. That's what connecting with Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam affords a devotee. The cleansing also happens. Lust to be gone, anger, because you realize after listening to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for a while, it takes you tend not to get angry. Things that used to make you angry don't concern yourself about much anymore. And the other quality that becomes higher, louder, more prominent is patience. You become less prone to anger and you become more patient. And lust also goes down. It may not disappear completely because it's bombarding us all the time, but it will definitely go down. And the heart will now be more determined. The mind will be more determined to fight against lust. And hankering also goes down. By the way, the other things that happen also is that if we stop hankering for things, we tend to easily give away things also. Both happen at the same time. If you say, oh, I'm not hankering for anything, but then you think twice before you give something away. Oh, I don't want to, well, then you're still attached to it. You should get to the point where you're ready to give anything away if it is needed by the other person. Our spiritual growth is very much tied to how much we help others. How much we help others. That is everyone, but especially the ones that are noted by Krishna, devotees. The more we help devotees, the more Krishna gets pleased with us. And when Krishna gets pleased with us, our spiritual life increases, levels, we grow more, and with that comes even more happiness. Krishna also makes us very, very, very much aware of how much protection he gives us. We see it on a daily basis. So this is all a win situation. Just by hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, you're already a winner. So many things will work well. So Srila Prabhupada said, it's said that a single pure devotee of the Lord can deliver all the fallen souls of the world. So you say, well, I can't deliver all the fallen souls of the world because I'm not pure. Srila Prabhupada has already explained, we may not be pure, but if we listen to the instructions of the pure devotee who is merciful, and we do what he says to do, we automatically become a subordinate, merciful person. Second level, merciful person. The first level is the pure devotee, but because we are following his instructions, we also become merciful just by doing what the pure devotee has asked us to do. So can we help deliver all the fallen souls? Absolutely. Why is it that the pure devotee Srila Prabhupada, his books are being distributed the whole world over by devotees, some of whom still have problems. They're not pure. Not yet, but they still deliver because they distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. Or they say one thing, as I remember a couple of devotees who were Srila Prabhupada disciples. They were in America, they went to Africa, they tried to distribute Krishna consciousness. Remember, I didn't say books, I just said Krishna consciousness. At that time, it was very early. Srila Prabhupada hadn't written many of the books that he was finally able to finish before leaving his body here. They just had Back to Godhead magazine. Remember, Srila Prabhupada, if you know about his Lilamrita, he started without writing a book, he started with the magazine Back to Godhead. So when he came to America, devotees immediately latched on to Back to Godhead magazine because he was already, doing that, putting out Back to Godhead magazines. So that's all that they had. They had two devotees went to Africa, a flyer about Krishna consciousness and Back to Godhead magazine, a piece of paper talking about Krishna. And they made so many devotees. What did they actually say verbally? They said, chant Hare Krishna. Krishna is God. That's it. 2 sentences. Chant Hare Krishna. Krishna is God. And of course, they taught him the mantra itself. And people were coming. So I've heard another story also happened in Ghana, specifically in West Africa, where my god sisters from there told me about it. They were going from village to village to preach. And they also had Chanamrita with them. The devotees had taken the water that's used to bathe the deities in the morning, Chanamrita. And they had that with them. And some people who were sick, physically sick, they gave them Chanamrita water, and those people swore later on that they got better from the power that's in the water that's bathed the deities. So that was also in them, in one sense, mysterious or magical to them. And so these devotees know the power of Chanamrita water. The water that's bathed the deities in the morning. In all temples, we have deities, it's there. In the temples of deities, with the Chanamrita water is there. There are so many things that just by being a devotee, we get in touch with. And it wasn't pure devotees that were giving out Chanamrita water. Many of them had, false, anatas, unwanted desires. But since they were serving, all of these wonderful things were happening. And those people who want to see some miracle before they believe in Krishna consciousness, they got their miracle through being healed by just drinking Chanamrita water. So, Srila Prabhupada wants all serious devotees to be cleansed into becoming pure. Purity is not for only some people, it's for everybody. Krishna Prema is every devotee's aim. So, if we take the process seriously, we will slowly get to the pure stage. We will become purified more and more and more and more. And along with the purification, some more realizations come about Krishna consciousness. And the realizations become very exciting. Some of it is general information. Some of it is information particular to the person's own life, realizations that come that way. And then the application, it all comes from applying what we hear in our daily life. And then these come, the realizations come. And it gives us wonderful improvement in our lives. So Srila Prabhupada wants all of us who are serious, chanting and listening regularly to become pure, because that way we can deliver the whole world. Now, Srila Prabhupada is carrying the message of Lord Chaitanya. It's Lord Chaitanya that wants this, and Srila Prabhupada is saying it. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila, chapter 7, text 128. Jare deka tare kaha Krishna Upadesh. Very, 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 very well known shloka. Amara Agyana Guru Hana Tara Edesh. So, the translation, this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And in this way, become yourself a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. Now, when they say spiritual master, there are three kinds of spiritual master. Vatma production guru, who's the one who introduces a person to Krishna consciousness for the first time. Shiksha guru, that is the spiritual master or the teacher that instructs. And then Diksha guru, who formally connects us to the parampara, the initiating guru. So in this way, become a spiritual master that is either Vatma Pradakshya Guru or a Shiksha Guru. Vatma Pradakshya, because if we talk to somebody about Krishna consciousness and they hear it for the first time and get convinced about Krishna consciousness or get interested, then you are the person that got them interested for the first time. So you're Vatma Pradakshya in that sense. But what Lord Chaitanya really meant here is to keep talking to everyone about Krishna. Become a Shiksha Guru. And there's one line in the purport for this particular text, Srila Prabhupada wrote, this is the sublime mission of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This is the mission, the sublime mission. So everyone is to try to convince someone to become Krishna conscious. The easiest way is to, if the person won't hear about Krishna, they won't, you give them foodstuff that based on their culture that they would like, and also one that's been offered to the Lord, prasada. Mahaprasada for the deities, or prasada. Give it to them. You've introduced Krishna consciousness, the mercy of the Lord, like that to them. One part of this, in the text, that Lord, the sound incarnation enters into the heart of a self-devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and then it cleanses the dust of material association, such as lust, anger, and hankering. That's what we talked about. And then Srila Prabhupada translates, thus it acts as autumnal rain upon pools of muddy water. Why is that autumnal rains on the pools of muddy water? Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that in the rainy season, when the rain comes out in torrents, the rivers, they become muddy. See, they change color. But when the autumn season, or we call it the fall here in the United States, where the water is slight, not downpours of rain, and sometimes it doesn't rain at all, what happens is that the mud settles on the bottom. And when a small amount of rain falls on it, especially like it happens in the fall, then the dust, the mud is not agitated. So then all the waters become clear. So when the sound incarnation of the Lord sits on the lotus feet, lotus flower, sorry, not the feet, the flower of his loving relationship. When we see lotus flower or sometimes lotus feet, that is the transcendental way of referring to beautiful. Lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord's feet are beautiful. That's why they call lotus feet. So lotus flower, again, representing beauty and wonderful aroma of his loving relationship. So that is a poetic way of describing it, but that's wonderful because it's very appropriate. And then all of these mud of association we got from material energy, lust, anger, and hankering, those go away. So we are very, very fortunate to be in this. We should always understand we are very fortunate to be in Krishna consciousness. We're even more fortunate to have an opportunity to serve. We're very lucky that we are only chanting 16 rounds minimum instead of 64 rounds to be allowed to go back to the spiritual world. And the caution is, apart from the things that we do, the things that we shouldn't do, don't violate the regulatory principles. Even if that's work in progress, sometimes we fall into it. Don't give up, because the Lord, as long as we put in effort, he'll be merciful to us. Nobody should think that, oh, this is so hard to do, therefore I shouldn't try. Anyone that wants anything in the material energy, anyone in life, they have a story behind it, how they became successful. They struggled. They struggled. They gave up some things that they liked in order to achieve that. So if we go through austerities, it's because we want to achieve something higher. And that thing is Krishna consciousness. And that thing is the connection to peace and connection to happiness. To never, ever give up. As soon as that thought comes, oh, this is too hard to do, Maya has defeated us. Only Maya would tell us that this is hard to do. Maya is testing us to see, would we, in fact, make the effort to keep going? That should be the attitude towards our devotional service. Mam chayu vyabhicharena, bhakti yogena sevati. Serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unfailing in all circumstances. Those circumstances are just tests by Maya to see that if I throw this at this person, will he still serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Or is his belief so shallow That every little thing that comes, oh, because of this I can't do, because of this I can't do. It happens to all devotees, initiated and otherwise. They have to be careful. Maya does not stop testing us because, oh, we got initiation. Ah, we got second initiation. Therefore, I'm Brahman. No. Don't put yourself in illusion. Maya is an equal opportunity employer, just like my spiritual master like to put it. And on to the end of time, Maya will try. He never leaves us. So we have to be on guard the whole time. The more we chant, the more mercy we get. We are mercy cases. The Lord is helping us. The fact that we're chanting 16 rounds when the devotee is supposed to chant 64 rounds puts all of us in the mercy category. We are just being helped with 1/4 of our chanting requirements and still being allowed to go back. So that is just mercy. We are all mercy cases. But that's when we need to think even more. Take advantage of the fact that the Lord is being merciful to us. Who doesn't go to the store to buy things when they are on sale, knowing very well that after a while the sale will finish and the things will go back to the original prices? Why would you not want to buy it at that time if you need it? Mm-hmm. So that's our situation. 75% off. Japa is 75% off. 3/4. You only do 1/4 of the requirement. So you take advantage of it. See, Papa says so many times in lecture, take advantage, take advantage, take advantage of the situation. Take advantage because Krishna consciousness, Japa is on sale. Hmm? So we should not be so connected with empiric knowledge, mystic gymnastics, all those things that yogis like to do to control the material energy and do some things that are unusual compared to what others can do. Don't get involved in all of that. Mystic. Krishna is the supreme mystic. Just connect with Krishna through the agency of Guru. And everything we need will be supplied amply. Srila Prabhupada, this is quoting Srila Prabhupada. Just connect to Krishna and all our needs will be sufficiently supplied, sufficiently provided. If it's not provided, we didn't need it. If it's not provided, we did not need it. Krishna gives us what we need. Because when it comes to just supplying what we want, we will immediately fall into the material energy, hankering after so many things. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam removes hankering. So then we get what we need, because that's all we need here in this material world. It's not our home. So we shouldn't go after so many things just to be happy to have so many material things, because we're going to die and leave it. But spend the time and spend the money on things that elevate us. That's smart. That's intelligence. This is Papa said, this is intelligence. So by sincere efforts to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, then one realizes his constitutional position with the Lord. One will actually realize his constitutional relationship with the Lord. It will come. And there are different ways in which it comes. Now, what I've heard His Holiness Chanamala Swami say is that if we get to know about what our Siddha original form is in the spiritual world, you don't disclose it to anyone. Not only do you not disclose, you don't even let anyone know that you know what it is. It's not important. You keep chanting. You keep chanting. So, the humors are plenty. Service, friends, paternal affection, conjugal love, the main ones. In Krishna Loka, all of them are there. So it's just a question of taking this process seriously. So Krishna can give us, he's very kind, give us the opportunity to go home. So just keep hearing and sharing. Hear and also share. Hearing, sharing, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Krishna was very pleased with us when we do that. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the answer to everything. There's in fact one chapter, there's a title that says Bhāgavatam is the answer to everything. So devotional service to the Lord, as Bhāgavatam says, the only method to cleanse the heart for good. We won't get any mud at all, because when the rivers get muddy, that's the rainy season. All kinds of Maya then sets in. And then when we settle into the mode of goodness, living life in the mode of goodness, even if it's material goodness, it's like the mud now settling to the bottom. And then the top becomes a little clear. But devotional service literally filters off all of the mud. And when the devotee is totally cleansed, there is no mud in the life of a devotee, then it's pure. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives us so many points of wisdom for us. And in particular, in the 11th canto, chapter 7, 8, 9, so obviously that's quite a few texts there. But it's about the Avadut Brahman we were talking about yesterday. I mentioned when I said we didn't have much time, so we'll spend a few minutes or so talking about a few of the things. Avadut Brahman had taken shelter of 24 teachers in life. We call them 24 gurus. By just the way they are, we learn from them. And so why not? We can take a few points from what the Avadut Brahman learned. He was very carefree and happy, never bothered by anything material. And King Yadu saw him and inquired, "Why are you so happy? What is your secret?" And he said, "I've taken shelter of 24 gurus. And with their way of life, I have learned a lot." The 24 gurus are the earth, the air, the sky, the water, fire, moon, sun, pigeon, python, the sea, moth, honeybee, elephant, honey thief, deer, fish, the prostitute Pingala, the kurara bird, and the child, the young girl, then arrow maker, serpent, spider, and wasp. And by just studying their activities, he's learned a lot. That's what the answer from the Avadut Brahman to King Yadu was. So let's learn something from the first one, the earth. And that is in the 11th canto, 7th chapter, text 37. So, a sober person, even when harassed by other living beings, this is wisdom for us now. A sober person, even when they're in a situation where they are harassed by other living beings, should understand this, that his aggressors, the people harassing him, are acting helplessly under the control of God. We should have that understanding. And thus, what should be our reaction? He should never be distracted from the progress on his own path. Avadut Brahman said, "This rule I have learned from the earth." The earth doesn't get back at us from all kinds of stuff that we do. If it was going to, many countries would be just flattened now, just by putting all kinds of machines and digging into the very being of the body of the earth, just to extract what? Oil. That alone is a reason for the earth to get back at us, if it wants to. Mother Bhumi accepts it. A sober person, even when harassed by other living beings, they should understand that his aggressors are acting helplessly under the control of God. Now think about that for a minute. That is the way that would help us not to think in terms of tit for tat. This person did this to me, therefore I'm going to get back at that person. That is not the thinking of a devotee. A sober person, dhira statana muhyati. A sober person, dhira, when harassed by other living beings, they should understand that those people harassing me are acting helplessly under the control of God. Now, there are no accidents in life. Therefore, if we get to a situation where somebody is giving us some harassment or some situation has put us in some harassment, sometimes it's the government that gives us harassment. You get a ticket from a cop and see what it feels like. It's the government that giving us problems. Sometimes go way above what we think the punishment should even be if we did something wrong. But aggression and harassment comes in all ways. Sometimes, yep, taxes, all of those things are there. So, but put the government aside, we're just talking about people in general. People. We should understand that their activities are actually coming from them, but in a helpless way, under the control of God, which means what happens to us, somebody being aggressive towards us, it's something that we have to learn from, or some karma from previous life that we're paying for, a part of it. Because that doesn't do the entire simple reaction, the intensity of the punishment on us. So usually we get a token thing. Now, does that mean that when somebody's being aggressive towards us, that we say, oh, it's the Lord that's, and then under his control, this person is acting helplessly, as it says here. Therefore, I should just simply allow the problems to go on. That's not what we're saying. When a thief is coming to your house and he's going to come steal and you know he has bad intention, you have every right to protect yourself. Now, does that go against this? Acting helplessly under the control of God, that the thief is doing that? No, it doesn't go against it, because everything is under the control of God. Therefore, if you try to defend yourself, you can only go to the point of, you can only defend yourself to the point that the Lord allows that to happen. And that's the antidote, which means we can defend ourselves, but we'll only get to the point of being able to defend ourselves to a certain extent. We may be able to completely defend ourselves. We may not be able to completely defend ourselves. That also depends on Krishna. But the important thing is, don't get back at somebody that harms you. Don't get back at them. See it as Krishna trying to give us token reprisal for things that we did in the past. Srila Prabhupada, when he was trying to develop ISKCON in India, he came to deal with a person that he was buying land from, Mr. N. Mr. N gave him so much trouble because he was very dishonest. He had a plot of land, he would sell it to one person and sell the same plot of land to another person just to get money. And then the complications come because two people think they own the same land. And then he had contacts with the people in law enforcement, in the judicial system. So he can bribe people, and then decision is made, but he never gets into trouble because he's already bought those people who make decisions according to the law in India. So he tried to do that to ISKCON devotees who bought land from him. And Srila Prabhupada fought him. In the end, the Lord stepped in and took the life of Mr. N. In another situation, see, it wasn't Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada just fought him, but the Lord took him away. He came, literally killed him. Woke up the next morning, his wife found out he was dead. Then his wife came to submit to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was very kind and merciful to the man's wife. Now, there was also another situation where Srila Prabhupada was debated with, argued with so many things about Shastra. And this man was given, this is not Mr. N, it's another person. And Srila Prabhupada made the comment to his devotees that It may be that in a previous life, maybe I've offended this particular person, and that's why he's doing this to me. He's a pure devotee, but that was his assessment of the situation. So when we try to live this way, as we're talking now, this is just the earth now. 24 gurus are there, 23 more, all of them giving advice. This particular advice will save us from so many complications in our lives as we grow up. If we think that our aggressors are acting helplessly under the control of God, we don't get back at them, or even if we don't get back at them, sometimes, and I'm one of those, fall into the situation of that thing has burned us so much, we keep thinking about, why did this person do this to me? It's a very bad situation to be in. I had to learn. My God sister learned, and then after that, I had to learn also. If you keep too many negative things in mind, it can make you sick eventually, especially as you get older. It can make you sick. So it is actually a way to relieve ourselves mentally and therefore physically. Physical one follows. If we look at a situation that there were some lessons that I had to learn, that's why Krishna put this particular aggressor in my life space. Therefore, let it go. Let it go. As a matter of fact, even have mercy by praying for the welfare of that person. We really, really, really have gotten to the topmost of how we react to things if we pray for the aggressor. But at the very least, the least thing we could do is, if it's bothered us so much, then, and Kṛṣṇa said this is allowed, we can avoid that person. Because we might think that he or she will do another thing to us that's negative. So you can give some space. No hatred. No hatred. See, that's when the hatred is out the door, when you think that way. The aggressors are acting helplessly under the control of God. And we'll have another point, the last point, to prove this. When the personality of Kali was hitting the bull, the personality of religion, breaking the legs. The bull has 4 legs, 3 were broken. The 4th one was being worked on, the manner of speaking, by Kali. This is all in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Maharaj Pariksit caught up with the bull and also the cow. He asked the bull, why is your situation this precarious, this troublesome? Now, the bull knew that it was a personality of Kali that had done this to him. But you know, the bull did not respond that, oh, it is Kali that did this. The personality of Kali was the aggressor. But the bull responded that it can't, in the manner of paraphrasing it, he responded to Maharaj Pariksit. Maharaj Pariksit wanted to find out who had done that so that he would chastise that person. The bull knew who had done that to him, and he still said, it can be looked at in many ways. Again, I'm paraphrasing. Some people may think it's because of this reason, they think it's because of that other reason. So you, Maharaj Pariksit, since you yourself are advanced, you yourself figure out why this could happen to me. And when Maharaj Pariksit heard that from the bull, he said, you're not an ordinary bull. You're not an ordinary bull. You must be the personification of religion. Because many people who are ordinary people would have said, the personality of Kali did this to me. Case closed. He knew, but he didn't point it out, which ties in what he's talking about. The aggressors are acting helplessly under the control of God. If we think that way, then even if it's a physical attack on us, we can try to do the very best that we can to protect ourselves. But the protection, the extent of protection will also come under the permission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So everything is looked at that way. But don't hold a grudge. That's the real point here. Don't hold a grudge. Go on with your Krishna consciousness. So he says the aggressors are acting helplessly under the control of God. This is the way we have to think. They're acting helplessly under the control of Krishna. And you don't want to go against Krishna because Krishna knows everything. We don't remember what our past lives were like. So when some things happen, they think that, but it didn't happen to this other person, which means it has something to do with me, why it happened to me. Therefore, you don't go against the aggressor. And you should stay fixed in the Krishna consciousness. You should never be distracted from progress on his own path. There was one guy that he said that he was getting so much this love, feeling love from the Lord. And then something happened and he wasn't feeling it anymore. Therefore, he got upset against God. Mm-hmm. And we're actually talking to him, counseling him as one of the people that I counsel now. They won't mention any names. We shouldn't expect, we brought it up, we shouldn't expect everything to be wonderful. We are in jail. We are in jail. And so some of the times punishment will come that way. Other people being aggressive towards us. It's also part of the punishment we got to go through. And as we said, if you try to defend yourself, which you can, you will also be able to defend yourself, but only up to that point. Don't hold a grudge against anyone. And if you don't hold a grudge against anyone, it would actually it would put you in a situation where your health later on won't be that bad. The other part of it, if you keep it inside, my god sister actually died from it. The family members gave her so many problems. And she couldn't believe that her own family, this is material family members could do that to her. She kept it in, kept it in, kept it in. Later on in life, she developed cancer and she died from it. And we all found out why. So this is the first advice from the earth, one of the 24 gurus. So Bhagavatam will tell us so many things. Just keep hearing and we will get to know more and be much, much more mature in life in the way we lead things. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. So thank you very much for coming on to hear. We all benefit from it. This is for my purification too. This earth advice was one that I also had to take. Hare Krishna. Jai. So you can unmute yourself now. And if you want to share this in conversation, any questions you want to ask, you can. Hare Krishna. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept
Hare
humble
Krishna.
obeisances
That's
of
my
worship
God,
of
Shri
God.
Prabhupada.
It's a very wonderful class,
Krishna
especially
Samasa.
the last point you were mentioning about the teaching of the earth.
Yeah.
That was really wonderful, like, that how we can really overcome or, deal with the situation where there is someone aggressive towards it. So it really helps.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Kamis tend to go after, they do tit for tat, but devotees should not. If you understand that nothing is by accident, so sometimes things that happen, they happen because the Lord wants to teach us something, or there's a little bit of simple reaction that we got to go through. And a person was put in that situation to do that to us. So you don't go against that person. He's just a tool being used. You don't blame a tool. When a knife cuts you, you don't blame the knife. Nobody blames the knife cutting him. So that's the way you should look at that person. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Dear Krishna Prabhu, please go ahead. Hare Krishna. Please
Hare
unmute
Krishna
yourself.
Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All good
Accept
with you.
mine. Go share powerful. Right.
Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Very
Krishna
nice
Samasa.
points. Definitely how devotee should always take a humble position. I was hearing a class about devotee relationship yesterday. I heard a very nice point. If you allow me, I can share that one brief
Absolutely.
experience.
You always get to know.
I mean, that Prabhuji was sharing a very nice story about something that happened. So, in short, he met some priests from a church, and he was attending their some program because of the friendship, and he found a very nice poster they have written on the church wall. In the When you enter the church, they have a very nice poster that says, welcome everyone like a Christ. So for he said for us it is like we should welcome everyone coming to to our home, our temple, our programs like a Krishna for us it translates. So he said I was very
Yes.
impressed and I was praising them, praising them, for having this wonderful message for everyone, reminding everyone. So that priest said, "Oh, that is not enough. Let's go inside, and I will show another poster." And inside,
Mm.
he had another poster that says, "Accept corrections like a Christ." Also, everything goes like two ways in relationship. Everything is two way.
Mm.
Definitely, we should be humble, but like you said, we should not just keep on accepting, the negativity. But at the same time, we have to also deal with that. So, just wanted to bring this wonderful point. I loved it. Hare Krishna.
Yes, and I also love hearing this. I'm hoping speaking for everybody to say that, it's actually very good advice for everybody. So yeah, we have to be that careful. Just understand something. You can do the best. Krishna will give us protection, but we are actually criminals in this deal. So when some arrangements are made, sometimes by the hand of the Lord, that we experience some things, um, don't let it just throw you off and say, how could this have possibly happened to me? Go on anyway. Go on anyway. It's not that important. We will get to the spiritual world and all happiness will be there. Everything will be provided. Everything will be provided. Everybody in the material world is actually relatively poor. We look at other things, we compare to others as though we are wealthy. Yeah, well, that's what we think. In the spiritual world, you see what real wealth is. Even trillionaires don't have what those in the spiritual world have access to. Mm. So in jail, we can compare to each other and say, "Oh, I have this, this one," and then people, and then the hankering goes on. You got to forget about all of this. In this jail, we have the minimum of things that we could actually live that will make us happy. Minimum, minimum. And if you get attached to it, you stay here and you're still eating breadcrumbs when there's a cake in the spiritual world. We only have breadcrumbs here. Mm. Some people have a large pile of breadcrumbs and people have a small amount of breadcrumbs, and that's what we call wealth and poverty. But they're all breadcrumbs, nothing compared. Bhāva-saroruham, we will tell you a whole lot about what the spiritual world is like. You wouldn't want to stay here. That's why Srila Papa wants us to go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Okay. Any other points? Or
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances always
That's
with love.
fine, go Srila Papa.
When Dear Krishna was sharing his point of what he saw in the church, I was reminded of Radhanath Swami. Radhanath Swami gave a very nice class, which I'm sorry, of course, years ago, and I read the transcription of it. And Radhanath Swami says that we are all searching for a lost love in the wrong place, and the wrong people, and the wrong things, and wrong time. And he said that in order to really find that lost love, we have to be humble. We have to learn to build humility. And humility is not just one facet of that science. It's much more than just saying, oh, I'm humble. Sometimes we think that when we see a devotee or someone who is always so happy and so joyous and jovial, oh, he's very humble. Someone who's very simple, oh, he's very humble. But that is just the outer appearance. What counts is from the within, Radhanath Swami says. And another thing he said is someone who is humble, it's the way they live with grace. So he was saying, in order for us to search our lost love, who is none other than Krishna, we have to be very, very humble. And only by our humility can we live in grace. So when you were speaking about how fortunate we are, sometimes some of us come from Indian backgrounds, grown up in the Hindu tradition. We take certain things for granted, like Chanamrita. I mean, we are so fortunate to actually have the bathing water of the Lord. ISKCON temple, I believe, is the only temple that has that. I mean, I don't know if the others can correct, because I wasn't raised Hindu, so I don't know. But from what I was told, is ISKCON temples are the only temples where we can actually get the bathing water of the Lord. ISKCON temples are the only temples where we can get the Lord's Maha water from the Lord's cup every single day. ISKCON temples are the only temples where we can have the Maha garland that was worn by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How fortunate are we that we get this garland from the Lord. It was on the Lord's body, you know? Like, it's just sometimes I feel like we take it for granted, and sometimes I feel like we need to really count our blessings. How fortunate we are to have these things and not take it for granted, you know, really not take it for granted, because we are very, very, very fortunate. How many of us get Mahaprasad? Like, I was talking to one of my friend many years ago, and he was saying that he went to the temple to get prasad. This was in Singapore. And I asked him, oh, you know, what did they give you? And I'm thinking, you know, rice, dal, sabji, pakoda, chutney, and sweet. He says, no, I just got peanuts. I said, huh? He says, yeah, the Hindu temples here, they only give you peanuts as Mahaprasad. I said, that's the blessing of an ISKCON temple. You get a 5 to 7 course meal as prasadam. So Prabhupada gave us all this, and we are so fortunate that we have to be always indebted to Srila Prabhupada for this wonderful mercy that we only find in the Hare Krishna movement, you know? Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Wonderful comment that you made here. And when you were talking about, you know, how the Buddhists get a full plate, you know, prasadam, then I thought, what to speak of that? There's Food for Life program in the ISKCON. Not just one person, but thousands of people get fed every day. Prasadam. Devotees cook large quantities and go out and distribute to the poor, the hungry, the Krishna's prasadam, mercy of the Lord. To Krishna. I mean, to devotees. Krishna's. Everybody is a devotee. Let's say devotees. Everybody is a devotee. My Guru Maharaj explained that everybody is a devotee of the Lord. Some know it and some don't. Some know, those who know are the devotees in the Christian movement. And those who don't know it, they don't realize that they're supposed to be devoted to the Lord, but they're not really acting that way. But anyway, yeah, food for life. So much prasadam given. So this is a very, very, very wonderful society extending the love of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so to stay in it and be part of it, because whatever we do in devotional service, the Lord is very happy with us. The more we help people, the happier we ourselves will be. And we are literally getting ourselves prepared to get more of the mercy of the Lord so we can go back home, back to Godhead, just by doing devotional service, chanting, hearing, and serving. Hare Krishna. Any final comments? If not, they would like to thank you very much for coming on today. Keep caring and keep applying. Don't have a grudge against anybody, because we're going to get sick from it. It's not worth it at all. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpadrubhisya kripasinibhi evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.